Yep.
Oh,
So I'd
good.
like to welcome Pat and to, I'm just going to put you on, Pat, so this way we stop swapping screens. So I'd like to welcome Pat from Texas to our interview. And I've invited Pat because she's one of our first students to start at Ingrid Creates Online Art School. And I thought I'd invite her along just so that she could share some of her experiences that she's had studying online. And hopefully she might address some of your questions that you might have as to whether online learning is for you. So, Pat, if you would just like to share some of your experiences with us, please.
Oh, Ingrid, I would be happy to. First of all, I just want to say, how just wonderful it is that we're connecting and you're in Australia and I'm in Texas. And there are people from all over the world that are watching and joining us. And this is just amazing to me. And it's just so much fun. So I thoroughly enjoy your webinars. Um, your site is just really neat. And I would encourage everyone to um, look at, your blog and all the information there. But when you suggest, you have free tutorials, your tutorials are really like a course in themselves. They are just so neat. And I think one of the things for me, I have a little bit of an eyesight issue, and to be able to watch you, and especially with your embroidery, as up close, as we can on the videos, it is just so wonderful to me. I can actually see what you're doing, and I love that.
It is important to see what you're doing. We were talking a little bit about this before, where I said I wanted to make the focus of all of these videos not about you seeing me paint or embroider, but you seeing what I'm doing, because that's the learning. Looking at my face is not helping you learn anything. But if I can make it as up close as possible, so that you are almost like, it's better than you sitting next to me, because it's like you sitting right on top of the work that I'm doing, and you can see all of that detail. And I don't know whether are you watching it on your laptop or on a computer screen? How are you watching the courses?
I have done a little bit of both, but I really, because of my eyesight, I love watching it on my computer screen. I have an extra large computer screen, so I can really get up close and personal.
I'm not sure if you have this technology in your television screen, but in our house we have a really large screen, and we've connected our computer to our television, and I've logged into my website and logged into my courses, and I can sit back on my couch and it's massive. So my hand fills the wall, and I swear I almost don't need glasses. And it's really large. So if you're able to, I mean, that's a great way of being able to watch it. But you can watch it on your mobile phone, you can watch it on an iPad or a tablet or your computer. So that's the great thing, is that it's still portable, and you can see it as big as what you need to do. How have you found the different types of learning support materials or support things that we have for the courses? Because it's not just about watching video.
Oh, you are really good at that. You're wonderful at sharing, and you have so many links to, other sites, other people, and that is helpful. I ordered my ribbons just the other day, and as soon as they come, I'm just going to immerse myself with all of this information. I just love it.
How have you found, because we also include, as part of your learning, once a month you get to participate in a webinar, and that's free. It's part of your course. It's not something that you have to pay for extra, and it's something that you will always be able to have access to participating in. So you participated in our first webinar for silk ribbon embroiderers, because you also do porcelain painting. I know you do. So at the moment, you've chosen to do our silk ribbon course, but that's what we have available. But how have you found that webinar in helping your learning?
Oh, I love your webinars. In fact, Yumi was your first guest artist on your
Yes.
webinar.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was so much fun to actually see her in person. She's on my Facebook page. And we've kind of compared notes with our knitting, but it was just so much fun to see her in person and then for her to share her special techniques in painting. And I have never seen that before. I mean, it was just so neat. Thank
We'll
you.
get more. We'll get more of Yumi doing her stuff next year. But that's one type of webinar that we run. And I was also talking about the webinar that you got to do as part of being a student of Silk Ribbon Embroidery.
Oh, yes. I just really, everything that you present, Ingrid, it's just really neat because you start off, you're a very organized person, first of all, and you're sharing your tips, but just to experience, how you put everything together and, your materials are beautiful. I love your ribbons and your fabrics and
Well, they're thanks to Clarence with the Rainbows. They're the talented women who hand dye all those fabrics, and it was just wonderful to be able to create a collection of palettes from their products. So it's been wonderful to work with an Australian company that does that.
well, that was one thing too about your videos because you can really see, your materials that you're working with, and how beautiful they are. And your webinar, when you're sharing, the work that you have completed, in the past and what you're working on now, that's just so much fun to me. I love that part. And it
Glad
helps
you
me
say that because
too.
that's one of the big focuses for doing, like, not only the school but the webinars and all the different things that we do. It's about sharing and inspiring and learning and creating, because if you don't have all of those things, it doesn't allow you to then go and make your own work. And that's been the biggest focus for all the classes. And I'd like you to talk a little bit more about whether that's what you actually experience. But my idea behind all of this was to set up an education system or a learning system where people would learn the skills and then also be able to have the confidence and the ability to start creating their own work, not just copy what I do, because I give you lots of different designs that can inspire you, um, but that you would actually then be able to try and do something else yourself.
And I am looking forward to when I receive my ribbons and fabrics from you. One of the things that I think I said to you before, your videos, the course, it made me just excited, just to get started and to create something. And I'm not necessarily going by one of your patterns, so I appreciate your patterns. But
Yes.
I'm just really excited just about getting started, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
That's fun to me.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I would envisage my students to do. And that's where, when we have monthly webinars that are only for our students, that's where you get to share how you're going with that sort of thing and get feedback from me and other people. The more students we have enrolling in the courses, they will all be joining us just like we are now and sharing like you would in normal class situations, I suppose. But it would be everyone sharing the different designs that they've tried. Let's have a look at, what you've done. Let's have a look at what you've done. And it's creating um, art discussions about those things and getting advice, because I can't be with you there in person, but this is even better.
Oh,
And it enables everyone to share in our art community and share the different ways that they're trying to express themselves. And there's no space of, oh, I'm only a beginner and I'm not as good as someone who's more experienced. We all learn from each other, and and I think I've said this many times on, my Ingrid Lee Art blog and, the blog at Ingrid Creates, is that I learn more from beginners than what I do often from more experienced students, because beginners always start from a different point of view, and it's just different. And I think if you as an experienced embroiderer or painter are willing to see yourself as a beginner, because often we do when we start a new challenge for doing a new artwork or something, then that's where you've got that confidence to try something new. And that's why the webinars as a support or as a learning support were really important. It's not just about, I paid for my course, I watch the videos, I do my embroidery, and that's it. There's a whole bigger network of other things that you can do at the school, like, and you've participated in a forum, and that, the more we have people contributing to that and sharing on there, the more interesting it becomes for people to learn. We've got the monthly webinars, and there's also another new thing that I haven't told you about yet, and I was going to talk about it later, but I've created they're not secret, but they're special Pinterest albums that are for our students only, that are collections of different designs and different things that I have sourced on the internet that I think will help you in your learning, that connect with what you've done in the classes. So if they might be floral studies, they might be other artworks that other artists have done, but it's collected all in the one space, in a way that will help guide or inspire you in a different way. And that's just another resource that I've created to support the learning in your classes. So the one-off fee that you pay covers all of that stuff. It's not just a one-off thing. And you access that forever. Whenever you're ready to start, if you want to do those violets again in 2 years' time, you can come back and still watch the video.
Oh, you are amazing. You really are.
Not about that, but I just think that
Oh,
that makes it, I think it makes it a more easier way to learn online. You don't have me in classes. You don't have that access. And even when I teach, overseas, or in Australia, when I teach master classes, I'm only there for a really short period of time. And when you've got 15 people in a room who all want to, get their questions answered, it's really hard. And I can see the frustration that some people have, that, they can't get access to what they want to know from me there and then. I don't always travel to their country all the time. So this, I think, is a really great way of being able to access learning in a new way. And I'm just very excited that you bit the bullet and became one of our first students after our very first webinar. So that's wonderful.
I was just so excited. I had to. Oh, and I love not only, it's so wonderful just to be able to, the way you video things, to see, what you're doing. But I can go anytime I want to and watch that. And then I dig into your blog, and, I can look at your free tutorials, and, there's just so much available. And I just am having a lot of fun. And I have never done ribbon embroidery before. I did have to let you know that. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is neat. I have to learn how to do this. And this is an easy way. And it's also a fun way. And I'm looking forward to the future for sure.
Well, the free tutorials are a great place to teach you the basics. That's what they're there for. They're just to get those basic skills, and then you can, get straight in there and do, a project, rather than sitting there and doing a beginner's sampler of something, which is great too. You can always do that in your own time. You can then go and look at other resources. But I think by having the free tutorials in a range of different things, it then gives you that inspiration and you straight away start on a project and get going. And I know that you will have great results with this. And I look forward to seeing your final results when you upload your photo of your work. And the great thing is during next month, this month's webinar, as part of your classes, hopefully I might be able to see something, or you can ask me some other questions about what you've been studying with the silk ribbon embroidery, or what project you're thinking of making. That's what that time's there for.
Well, and I'm also going to just mention this too. I have only been porcelain painting for 3 years, and I've just done just a little bit of luster work, not much. And I am really looking forward to your luster classes. So I've watched the free tutorials already, and so that's just another thing that I'm excited about.
There's heaps. There's more and more things coming. I showed you a little sneak peek before of the first luster course that will be up on the website this week, and there's just more and more courses that will be coming. And the way that any of our classes are done, if you start off at the beginner and intermediate ones, it gives you the different skills and techniques that you can then take to the next classes that we have in the next, range of things. So it's always structured that it's step by step, and it doesn't matter, if you start and do a lot of the beginner and intermediate courses. And what I mean by beginner is that you're not totally new to painting at all, but that you've had some experience with painting on porcelain, things like that, because as you've seen in the free tutorials, I don't cover how to fire your porcelain and things like that. I will in the actual classes, because there are certain firings and things that I'll discuss with you in there, but it doesn't cover a lot of those very first beginner, never done any porcelain stuff. It's still aimed at people who've got a little bit of experience, just like you. Um, you've painted on a plate before, and it takes you from that point onwards. So I'm glad that you're looking forward to doing the luster classes. I'm looking forward to you joining us in those because they're really fun, and there's lots of different techniques that each course has that's different, that I know that you'll get something out of, and creating beautiful things really soon. Well, unless you have anything else that you'd like to share with us, Pat, if you have any last words or anything, you can do that now, but we'll look at finishing the interview so that we can move on to the next part of our program.
Well, I really just want to say thank you. You have put a lot of work into everything, from your blog to your courses, and you've got so much planned for the future. And I just feel very fortunate, very blessed to have connected with you. And I look forward to just being a part of everything. This is just going to be so much fun. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for coming along and sharing with us, because without you, I can't do this. I can have, all the school that I like, but unless I have people who want to try and are willing to have a go at doing it, then, the school can't grow. And that's what it's about, is growing an art community. And it's wonderful to have you along, and that you're so enthusiastic about sharing and learning art online with us. So thank you very much for all of your support as well. And thank you so much for coming on into this interview, so that you could share your experiences with everyone. And if anyone else has any questions that they would like to ask Pat, if you can leave them in the bottom of the chat, and we'll get back to you and answer some of those questions later in the program, or on the forum in the online school. Thank you very much, Pat, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll get on with the rest of the program.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Thank you. See you soon.